Okay, this is Maybelline. She is due for a bath. She has a little bit of a collapsed trachea, so I apologize if you are hearing her snort. I'm not doing anything to hurt her. When she was younger, she used to pull on her leash a lot, and so I started using a harness, and so that's the noise that you hear her with. But today what we're going to give her a bath, and I'm going to show you what I do as far as diluting the products and how I groom her body. Now, what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about is, remember we talked about diluting the product? Well, I've already done that here, and I need to add a little bit more. So I'm gonna add some shampoo here. I get my water going. Now, if you have very, very hard water, you're gonna need to condition your dog's coat more, or it will mat more. So when the dog's hair needs moisture, it will mat more, and it will tangle more, and it'll break off more. So what I do, I soften my water, so my water's not very hard. But if I weren't to soften it, I would have to do a lot more conditioning of the coat. Some coats typically are drier and more brittle than others. Isabella, my other Maltese, has a very soft coat. Sit down, Maybelline. Now, I don't have anything in the sink right now, but you could put a dish mat in the bottom of here. You could put one of those plastic things that you put underneath your drain rack for your dishes, just so that they have some grip on the bottom of the sink. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to warm the water up to just lukewarm, okay? Some people like to put their dog in like a basin. If you have a big single sink, then you might want to use like a Rubbermaid container that you put in there, just to make it a little more secure, and then that way it's kind of more like a little bath for them. So I'm going to wet her coat down, and I'm going to get her whole body wet. Sit down, Maybelline. Sit down. Sit down, Maybelline. Good job. Stay. Now, one of the problems is Maltese don't want to sit down a lot of times because they're nervous. So what I do is I just kind of put my hand on their chest to comfort them, and I'll talk to them. Another thing is they can be very noise sensitive with the water. So make sure you have the water pressure low enough that they can't hear it very much. So I'm wetting down her coat. Now, the other thing is, sit down, Maybelline. You want to put some cotton in the ears so that they don't get ear infections. So you just take the cotton and you put it in the ear like this so that the water can't get in there. It's a little tricky, but you want to put the cotton in the ear. Like so. She doesn't want to sit. Problem is, if she doesn't sit, then her head is hanging over the edge of the sink and the water goes all over. Okay, so now I'm going to keep wetting her down. I'm going to hold the top of her nose like this. So when I'm spraying the face, I'm just going to gently go around her face. You could use a little water bottle if you wanted to get the water around the face. You don't want to spray in the ear. You just want to spray on top of the ear. Oh, her cotton fell out. It's easier to put the cotton in when you don't have them in the sink. Okay, so now that I've got her all wet, you want to spray the underside, all that good stuff. Now I'm going to start by putting the soap up at the top of the head like this. I'm going to hold her head still. Okay? Then I put a little bit of soap on her muzzle, and I just use my hands to work it in. And I just kind of scrub the muzzle like this. Be careful not to get it in the eyes. If you get it in the eyes, you can use a little bit of contact saline solution or just a little bit of water to rinse it out. No need to panic, but you do want to rinse it out, obviously. So I'm just washing her ears. So I always start with the head. Why? Because usually their face is pretty dirty, they have some staining, so that kind of lets it soak for a little while. Okay, then I start off, I wash the chest, I come down the neck, and I'm adding the soap across the chest. Now this shampoo, I wouldn't have to dilute it. If I was just doing her legs, or if her legs had a lot of grass staining or, a lot of yellowing from going on walks, then I would not dilute it. I would use it straight. Now if it's a bluing shampoo, you do not want to use it straight. It will turn the coats purple. So Pure Paws makes a bluing shampoo, and I'm not talking about this type of blue shampoo. I'm talking about it literally looks purple. So it's the same type of thing for women that have their hair highlighted. Literally, it will, it'll make your highlights kind of turn purple. Well, that's what it does to a Maltese coat. So if you leave it on too long, or if it's not diluted enough, it'll turn the coat purple. So when you're grooming the legs, I just kind of lift their back legs up like this, and I scrub the back legs and the tail. Their tail gets dirty too, so you want to make sure you scrub that part. Okay? Now, we've talked about diluting the shampoo, and I'll tell you in a minute how to do the conditioner. So I'm going to start the water back up so it's lukewarm for her. Now I like to let the soap sit on the legs for a little while to kind of get any staining or anything like that out of it. Make sure you scrub the belly underneath. If the coat is longer, do not go back and forth like this. Just go one direction, otherwise you're going to make the coat mat up. So I'm going to leave that sit on there. I'm going to use this to dilute the conditioner, so I want to make sure that I rinse this. Girl. Okay, so now I'm going to use the H2O, and I believe this is 20 to 1. 8 to 10 parts warm water, and leave on 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so I've got about this much, so I'm going to fill it up to about there. It doesn't have to be exact, but approximate is fine. And you want the water warm enough that it'll mix. And then you just shake, whoops. You just shake it up. Now I'm going to rinse her coat. Pay close attention to the temperature of the water. Again, if you just kind of hold their chest, try to get them to sit down, that helps them to feel more secure. If they won't sit down, that's fine. Okay, so you want to rinse really well. The more soap you leave in the coat, the more the coat will mat. So you want to make sure you rinse, 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 rinse. Again, if I had really hard water, some people like to use, warm up bottled water, or they just have to use a lot more conditioner than people that soften their water. Okay, so now I'm going to use my conditioner and I'm going to put it on her coat, and it says to leave it 2 to 3 minutes. So I will put this on her coat. And now if you're using this, it's likely, if it's just a pet, you won't need to leave this. You won't need to use this and use a conditioner when you're blow drying. Usually one or the other is enough for a pet. If you're doing a show dog, then you would use a conditioning spray every time you comb through the dog's coat so you don't have breakage. But today we're doing pet grooming. So it's really a nice conditioner. The smell is wonderful. I really enjoy the smell of Pure Paws products. I used to sell them in my store, Doggybo, so I have some in stock. But if you're interested in ordering Pure Paws, let me know. I can have it drop shipped to you. But anyways, I'm going to put this on her, and we will be back.